Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Express entry draws cutoffs are very high and people are getting worried, and that's why they are thinking about other options. So I decided to make this video to educate you guys about work permits. Okay, because many people are thinking, okay, maybe I can get a work permit, and I recently uploaded a video how to convert your visitor visa into a work permit. If you have not watched it, then you should. Okay, now in this video I'm going to talk about only the types of work permits, because thing is that you guys are going to go to a consultant, and that consultant is going to pitch you a work permit. So you need to know what are the types of the work permit, so that you can then check what are the eligibility factors, and I might make further videos on explaining these work permits and their eligibilities. Okay, so first of all, the first requirement is labor market impact assessment report, LMIA. Okay, so there are some work permits that are exempt from LMIA. There are some work permits that require an LMIA, and there are some work permits who do not need a job offer or an LMIA. So we're going to talk about these three sections of the work permit. So first of all, if you need a labor market impact assessment report, then these are the three possible work permits that you can apply to. So the first type of work permit is the most famous one, Temporary Foreign Work Program, TFWP. This is basically an umbrella for high wage work permits, low wage work permits, also global talent stream, then some agriculture workers and in-home caregivers, okay, and then foreign academics also. Okay, so this is an umbrella. I will make another video explaining about all these subtypes of the temporary foreign work permit, but know this, that you would need a positive LMIA. Okay, the second type of work permit that requires an LMIA is a facilitated LMIA. That is only for Quebec. Okay, so I mean, Quebec has this facilitated LMIA program, and if you're applying through that work permit, then you don't need a positive LMIA. Okay. Then the third one is Global Talent Stream. Global Talent Stream has two categories. One is Category A, the other one is obviously Category B. So Category B is for certain knock codes. Category A is for employers who are referred by the what would you say, credible organizations listed on the Canadian immigration website. Okay, so Category A is referral based. Category B is certain occupation based, knock based. Okay, so these are the three types of work permits that require an LMIA. Okay, now let's talk about the three types that do not, they are LMIA exempt. This is the terminology. Okay, so the first one is, 2 weeks video. If you remember, 2 weeks video that go to Canada in 2 weeks. That is International Mobility Program, IMP. Okay, so IMP basically is a program that is LMIA exempt. Okay, but it is a very specific and particular program. I have made a video on it, but I'm thinking about making a video about the knock codes, or rather the occupations that are LMIA exempt. Okay, so I'll make another video on this topic. So the second type of LMIA exempt work permits are the international agreements, for example NAFTA work permits and CETA work permits. Okay, so these are the international agreements with countries like Mexico, right? So if your country has such an international agreement, then you can get benefit out of it. Okay, then CETA is probably with some agreement with the European Union. Okay, so if you're a European Union citizen, then maybe you can look into this. Okay, now the third type that is LMIA exempt is ICT, another famous program, intra-company transfers. So intra-company transfers meaning you're working in a company that has an office in Canada as well, and if you would start working in that office inside Canada, then that will benefit Canadians. Okay, if that's the case and your company is able to support that with a letter, Then ICT is for you. So ICT is also LMIA exempt. Now, why we do have programs that are LMIA exempt? See, LMIA could take time and a lot of effort. And these programs, for example, intra-company transfers, these programs are part of the international mobility program. They give you an edge that okay, you can hire your employee working in another country and you can get them here in Canada without needing to go through the LMIA process. Okay, now let's talk about the third type of work permits. Okay, now this type is otherwise called as open work permits. And for open work permits, you don't need a job offer or you don't need an LMIA, right? So who is it for? Let's learn about that. This is for the students who have completed their studies and now are on their PGWP. So PGWP is an open work permit. Then spousal sponsorship from inside of Canada. Okay, so that is also an open work permit. Then IEC, International Experience Canada, otherwise known as the holiday visa or work holiday visa. Okay, so IEC is also an open work permit. Open work permit means that you can work for any employer in Canada. Okay, the fourth type of open work permits is bridging open work permits. The abbreviation is awesome, BOWP. Okay, BOWP. So the last one is spouses that are accompanying international students, their work permits are also open work permits. So I mean, I'm not talking further about these programs because these are the commonly known or commonly heard programs, because everybody knows that after you complete your studies you get a PGWP. If you are a student and you have your spouse in Canada, then that spouse will be on an open work permit. Then if you are a permanent resident of Canada and you're applying for a spousal sponsorship and your spouse is already in Canada on a TRV, on a visit visa, then that will be eligible for an open work permit. Okay, so these are the types of work permits, and I'll make videos about eligibility and the documents required and the global talent stream and the LMIA exempt. So many videos on work permits coming up so that you don't get fooled when you are visiting or consulting an immigration consultant. Okay, so with these words, this is Ali Iftikhar, and I'm hoping great things are coming your way.